Okay, so the recording has started. So we are doing the storage session actually. Right, this is some traditional storage tiers. This is which I was explaining. You see this volumes and vaults, which I just explained about SSDs and hard disk. And here is a hard disk, and it's a vault, means it's a tape. So here, just to understand this one, I detailedly explained just now about the faster the performance applicable only in SSDs. You get even 12 Gbps, which is there in this particular area. Okay, but the price is also very high, ultra high performance at the top and archives at the top at bottom. So normally now you understand this one, vaults are mainly used for backing up purposes only. And here the hard disks are mainly SSDs. That's what which is the meaning of IOPS means. The more the IOPS, the more the tier 0, the more the tier 0. So input output operations per second. So this is mostly in SSDs. SSDs are used in tier 0 as well as tier 1 also. But whereas in tier 2, we use normally hard disks, and tier 3, we use only tapes. So please understand that one. So yeah, in tier 3, we use only tapes, and we don't have any IOPS. It's only just a bulk deposit. The data is there. And the retrieval time itself is about 2 to 3 hours, like that it will be there. You have to retrieve in a hard disk, and then only you can see this particular one. So see this one, performance is the key characteristic for tier 0. Please key takeaways here you see. And total cost of ownership. This is TCO, means total cost of ownership, are increasingly critical for 1, 2, and 3. So here this, so over 60% of the data is archival. You can see this is the largest tier which is there. So a new deep archive is also there. We have this entire 3 archive, deep archive. 2 models are there. We'll be explaining about all those things. Right. So I'll just explain about this storage options, especially in AWS. We just saw about this EBS. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. So we saw that the volumes and all these things comes under this one. You have partitions, you have data, etc., coming under C drive, D drive. All these things comes under EBS. You see this, the best fit for access of raw and formatted block level storage. Whether you use a hard disk or whether you use SSD, this is a partition. This can be used on any one of the operating systems. Like you can have Windows or even your Linux operating system, and then attach these volumes accordingly. But whereas here, the other kind of storage, please focus now. This is more important. This is the area where we are focusing now. This already we did this one, volumes, and now S3. S3 means simple storage service. SSS, that is called as S3. This is the service which is there in AWS. Please remember, and this is one of the important service which we are going to learn today. So S3, again, I tell you, is a simple storage service which is object class. It doesn't comes under block storage. It doesn't come under block storage. Block storage means that the any storage needs to be mounted on a operating system. Without operating system, the block storage volume cannot be viewed. But in object class, it's not like that. It's not like that. Okay, you can simply have objects. Basically, I'll explain about the objects. In object storage, no operating system is really required for you need to have a glance or mount points or anything, nothing like that. So normally, so these are used for archivals, S3 and Glacier. Glacier is a cold storage, like we store it in tapes. We have even a deep Glacier also, we tell you. So every object has the parameters like ID. So ID is the way how these objects or your files and folders are recognized. The ID, unique ID given by Amazon itself, and a metadata. And you have attributes also. Attributes are nothing but the properties. And you also have the data is considered as the largest part. So this one. Normally we use these objects for pictures, videos, highly durable media storage, cold storage. You have something, your project is over. You want to store the data. Where will you store? You have something 100 TB of data. Your project is over. You don't require now anything. So where do you want to? You can keep it in Glacier and store it, because anytime the audits may happen. So if you need the data once in a while, so you can keep these things in object class, so object storage. You have various tiers also. I'll be speaking about that. Either S3 or even in Glacier also you can keep, and then you can work it on. This is what. So now let us focus on a little bit more on the object storage. We already did these volumes in our previous class. So you have also this storage gateway and Snowball. I'll be speaking that later. This one also additionally services. These are the services. EBS is one of the service for related to storage. S3 and Glacier is also object class storage. These are from AWS, and the other storage services which we need to know. No, not to do. Need to know is storage gateway and also the Snowball. Snowball. I'll explain about this one, storage gateway, where you have your on-premises servers which are there. You want to dump the data in the cloud so that you can use the storage gateway. And once you configure, the data is, migrated, or it can be stored in the storage devices. That is why we use the storage gateway. This is on-premises and cloud storage. So for that, the gateway, the in-between point, which we call it the storage gateway. And a Snowball is a virtual way of doing, like you have a huge data at on-site. Think about, you have about 100 TB of data, or maybe 500, or maybe 10 TB of data. TB, it's not GB also. Okay, MB, GB, TB of data. So, or sometimes PB of data. How will you transfer all the things to the cloud? Some people wants to transfer the data into the cloud. How will you do? It's very, very difficult and tough also. Time consuming. So what do? You order a Snowball. Snowball will come to your location. A device, a physical device which contains, and it is secured. You dump everything locally, and then the Snowball is carried to the nearest data center, and then you can transfer to your files at a faster rate. So that is how the Snowball, I'll explain about later. It's a device basically. You get it once you order it. So these are again another two types of models which are there. Right, let us understand about some of the important terminology. Already I spoke about SSD, means solid state devices. Also, I spoke about IOPS, input output operations per second. The more the IOPS, the more the performance. Please remember that. Normally, 100 to 5,000 is the normal IOPS which are being used in normal hard disk. But you can get even up to 50,000 IOPS also. Okay, I'll tell you how you can get all those things. So when your client demands for more performance, then the more IOPS you can justify. But remember, IOPS, more the IOPS, more the cost. Okay, disk IO is the speed which the disk, the data comes out from the disk and it enters into the disk. Okay, these are the terminology. Please understand. In memory also, you all know about 1 MB, 1 GB, and 1 TB. Okay, there is another convention is MIB, GIB, TIB. Probably we might be hearing this the first time. Maybe byte, TB byte, and GB byte and TB byte. So normally megabyte is thousands. This is measured in zeros. I mean, 1 followed by 3 zeros, 1 followed by 3, like that. But here it's not like that. It is followed in 2 power 10. That is 1024. Please remember 1024. Normally, the binary bits, when it stores, it is measured in 2 power 10. That is 1024. So this is a normal convention. But for our simplicity, we generally call this megabyte, gigabyte, and terabyte. That is in 1000 and 1024. So that please note down. You can note down this megabyte, gigabyte, and terabyte. Normally, whenever you buy a hard disk, you get it in terabyte. But we generally say in terabyte. Okay, this part we have already done. This elastic block storage, you have your EC2 instances, you have created your volume, and then you have attached this one. So this is how it works. So we also took the snapshots. Yesterday we learned about, last class we learned about how to take the snapshots, or incremental backup. Snapshots are the exact true copy of your volumes. Automatically encrypted also. Encryption is also part of your snapshot. That are created from encrypted are also automatically encrypted, right? So these are generic cases of this IOPS. You can see this one particular one, provisioned IOPS, general purpose IOPS. Please remember those two are very, very important. So here, general purpose IOPS. Provision means you demand, you get it, you demand. I want more IOPS, provisioned IOPS, we call as provision. Large database workloads, such as you can see this one, Cassandra, MongoDB, production environment, where you get 20,000 IOPS. You see here, this is a huge, IOPS size. You can see this one. So we also call this as IO1. API name is IO1. This is the naming convention what is given by AWS. Otherwise, normally general purpose, what we get is only 100 IOPS. You can see this one. Even you can get up to 10,000 IOPS, but you see this is GP2. So these are some standards which are there. And in magnetic, you don't have any IOPS. We generally call it as less than nearer to 100 IOPS. So you can see standard. You can see a standard. The cost also you see. The more the IOPS, the more the cost. Here you see this one is 5 cents a GP a month. And, okay, here you are paying double, almost double, 10 cents because you are using more IOPS. And the more IOPS, still more the IOPS. Yeah, you are paying more than 12.5 cents per GB per month, like that. So it is only for your understanding. It's not exact figures, absolutely for this pricing models of EBS one. Anyway, now let us understand about the object. So whenever I say, please remember, whenever I say object class means, whenever I say object means that please keep in mind, please keep in back of your memory, which is called as like a Google Drive. A Google Drive. All of you are familiar with Google Drive, right? So in Google Drive, can you basically mount to an operating system? No, we can't. So what do we have in our Google Drive? An archives, the backups. So can we execute all the things directly? No, we have to download and then we have to execute. Some things only can be viewed, like a PPT or Word file or Excel file. Otherwise, most of the things you download and then use. These are the kind of things which we use in object class. Okay, we store all the files. Why we store all the files? For longer term uses, or whenever we want the requirement, we use it. This particular one as an object class file system. So let me explain you what is an object. So in object class file system, so if anyone is having question also, please ask me. This will lead to a service called as S3, S. That is simple storage service. Each Amazon S3 object, S3 has an object data, key, metadata. Please understand this one. You can make a note of this particular one. So object class or object storage, you can say S3, which is simple storage service. Okay, so here essentials which you need to know in this particular one is S3 object has data, key, and metadata. Can I repeat? Whatever I'm writing is very important, especially for your exam preparation also. S3 object has data, key, and of course metadata. And let me tell you, in S3, whenever we go to that S3, you have several objects. Object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4, object 100, object 1000, 10,000, like that. So all objects can be placed in a bucket. Again, I repeat, bucket. Bucket contains objects. Bucket be unique across AWS. Mean that whenever you go to S3 service, you need to create a bucket first. That bucket is unique. Like you go to Google Drive, first what you do, you have your email ID signed in, all those things. That email ID is unique. It's like a bucket. And once you have several objects. You have several objects. You see this one, objects. An object can be file or a folder. Anything. File or a folder. Object. Maximum singular. Okay, single object. Maximum size. I think TB. 5 TB. Each object can contain several objects you can have. Like that, you can have in one bucket. In one bucket, you can have unlimited objects. One bucket, unlimited objects you can have. But the maximum size of one object is 5 TB. Like that, this is one bucket. You can have second bucket, third bucket, like that, several buckets you can have. Is this clear, everyone? Yeah, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Means
sir.
that is mean, sir. One for because it's unique. So one sign on can we can consider as a bucket, right?
You have to create a bucket. You had everyone. When we start the exercise, everyone will be creating. First is the bucket. And that bucket should not exist elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere in across AWS. Okay. So that is most important. And once you create the bucket, you can have several objects in that. Several objects in that. Any number of objects. There is no limit. Right. Let me go back to the presentation. So these are some few points which are there. I'm just making out several points. So what is a bucket? Bucket used to store objects which contains data, metadata, and describes the data, which I explained. So the bucket can be configured and created in a specific region. There is no limitation. In any region you can create, but it is a global object, we say. Bucket is global. I'll tell you, I'll explain you what is global. They're all very important points. So yeah, the bucket can be configured. Yeah, I mentioned that bucket is global, but still it can be created in any specific region. Like if I want in North Virginia, I can create my bucket. But even though it can be accessed or it can be used across the globe, that's what which is there. By default, only 100 buckets can be by default. But even though you have 100 is the limitation, you can ask for further more. There is no maximum limit. Okay, you can have, but by default it is 100 is the maximum. Afterwards, you can ask further more. You can ask further more, right? So that is how further you can request for more buckets as needed, but it's okay for us. So yeah, please understand this one. This is the object. There is one image file, puppy.jpg. There is a folder called photos and bucket name is John Smith. Please understand this one. John Smith, you need to create first. In that, you can create a folder called as photos. In that, you have landed, you have added a file called as puppy. This is clear. So now how you are going to give the naming convention? HTTP. And also, please remember, almost all the objects which are there, like your Google Drive, you can share with others. You have a URL, unique URL. It can be accessed across the browser. Like this. This is your bucket name, .s3 .amazonaws.com /photos/puppy. This type of questions you may get. Please remember this one. How the URL looks like for S3. Okay. So now, yes, this is the convention which I tell you. This S3 is the service bucket you need to create, and then you can have a folder, and then this folder is also called as an object. This is also an object, and this object can be shared across public if you want. Based on the policy, by default, it will not be shared. Like your Google Drive, if you create a folder or if you add a file, can it be shared by default? No. If you share, then only it gets the share. A specific people you can share, or for all the people also you can share, whatever it is like this. Okay, URL will be coming, that URL can be shared. The same thing here also in S3. So yes, as I explained, S3 you have a bucket and bucket with objects. So bucket with objects is a storage designed to make web scale computing easier for developers. Simple interface that helps to store and retrieve any amount of data at any point of time from anywhere on the web. Bucket can be a region, at any region recommended to have the same reason. Recommended if your user data is somewhere related to Australia, create a bucket in Australia rather than having in Paris. Okay, so understand this one. So yeah, bucket, we have policies also. Let me tell you what is a policy. Policy means that it is a profile. It has something specific, what we call as privileges, like, or you can say as the what we call as privileges, or your yeah, something related to restrictions, something related to definitions. You give only this much amount of criteria or privileges to so and so. So that part only he'll get. Otherwise, no. So it allows users to authorize the policies. Okay, we have policies, and these policies can be done in two ways. Okay, one is through JSON. The JSON is the script. So again, I can repeat, JSON is JavaScript object notation. So I tell you bucket policies. We will learn about this one. Bucket policy can be implemented. So basically, policies are mainly meant for permissions. You can say, okay, permissions. Okay, which are normally written in JSON. Okay, JSON. I'll tell you, JSON means JavaScript object notation. So multiple times I'll be speaking about the JSON. Please remember. So most of the what we call is cloud, AWS cloud functionalities, you can see that the policies, especially whenever you see policies means permissions, and we need, as a solutions architect, we need to know about policies a little bit more. So for many of the services, we have policies, that is the permissions. So we will try to create policies in JSON only. JSON is, I'll tell you, is the next generation automation language, which is very easy to read. Okay, and it is OS independent also. Again, I repeat, this is OS independent. So this basically like it can run, I mean, platform independent, I can say. I'll not say OS independent, platform independent. Like it can run in any, whether it is a Linux or a Mac or whatever it is, it can run just as simple as possible. Like you see this one, when you understand this one, you see a sample policy is written on the screen. Yeah, our version is 2012 1017. That is the standard version. Okay, where your JSON policies has been, I mean, JSON scripting has been really came into force. That is the first line is common. By seeing that itself, you can understand how it is a JSON document. And you see the effect allow. You are writing an allow policy. It's a kind of access list. Okay, allow to whom? To user Alice. Alice can use this file or a folder. Okay, like share we create, right? So that is the thing. In action, this S3, so and so my bucket, all. What all Alice can access? Everything in the bucket name called as my bucket. So it is as simple as that. I'm not asking you to learn, but at least try to understand these policies, how these are written, especially in JavaScripting. Okay, JavaScript object notation. So later on, we will also touch more times this JSON for multiple reasons, and also we will also learn about at a later stage your Ansible also. Okay, so these two are actually, Ansible is written in Python and JSON is written in JavaScript. These two are interchangeable also, the scripts which are there. So yeah. So that is about this bucket policies. We will learn about a little bit more deep when we start doing the lab exercise also. And of course, the storage classes. This is again one of the important slides, which you get 1 or 2 questions from this one. Yeah. So why should we have classes? Like I tell you, when you open, most of you are using this Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever it is. You see, the first page will be shown very, very fast. But when you scroll down and down and down, what happens is that you see this scrolling happens. Why? Because the first page or second page or the last 1 week data is very, very important. It is written in the, in the fastest hard disk. But whereas afterwards, after a week's time, the data will automatically move into, because it's not being used frequently. So that's why we call this as infrequent access, but still it is being used. Still it is being used. Okay. So like that, infrequent access. This is the second tab. And you can see if it is not being used after 1 year or 2 years, you don't use much. So what happens? You can throw it in the glacier. If you ask normally, you'll get it. You'll get the data, but it will take more time. So these are some of the storage tiers. Why we select the tiers? Because the standard infrequent access is cheaper than standard. Okay. Glacier is much cheaper than infrequent access. Still more tiers are there, I'm speaking. So these are the 3 things. And you see this, the durability. Durability means that once you write the data, how long the data is durable. Durable means that 9 or 11 nines. Amazon promises you, commits you 11 nines, 99.99s. That is the percentage. I mean that almost once you store the data, it is available. You can say that. You can say that. But here availability, if you want 99.99% availability, means that you ask and you get it immediately. That is how we call it 99.99%. I means that in a year you have approximately 3 to 4 minutes of time, of downtime. That is called a standard. That is called a standard, right? And in infrequent access, you see this one, it is reduced to 99.9. It's here 4 nines, here 3 nines. But still there will be huge pay difference. Okay. So here, why do we do that? Because yes, because 99.9 means in a year it will be something like 15 to 16 hours, not beyond that. So, but still it's okay. It's okay. Infrequent access also. You see this one. Glacier is a third time. Is the cheapest one where you don't have availability immediately. The first byte will come after 2 to 3 hours. Normally 4 hours also. So that is called as archive. You triggered an archive to be restored. Yes, it will be restored. It will take, the tape should come, it will land, and then it will again come again, all these things. Okay. So these are 3 classes which has durability of 11 nines. Please understand this one. Please understand. 11 nines. But availability is different. There is one more class which is called as RRS. Reduce redundancy storage. Reduce redundancy storage. Here you see this one, durability and availability is only 99.99. It's not 11 nines like durability, right? It's 99. So this is also a cheaper version only compared to your standard. Out of all the 4, the costliest one is the standard. Next is RRS, infrequent access. Next is RRS. Last is the glacier. So like that, you can think about it. Stores, but here we use non-critical because the durability is lesser compared to what we call as the standard, okay, of objects over a given year. Designed to sustain the loss of data in a single facility, cost effective for distributing or sharing the content, and stores object for, we will be exploring a little bit. Also, we will learn about the building part also. So the features in your object class storage is that one is you can see this versioning. What is versioning? Please understand this one. You have a document. You have stored it in your Google Drive. Okay. So you have made again some changes locally. You are again trying to recopy in the same location. So rather than overwriting, it will keep the previous document also along with the new document. That is version 1 and version 2. Is this clear? We are going to do this exercise also. So multiple copies will be there in versioning. The big advantage is that if someone overwrites the file also, the previous file will be there. Okay, even someone deletes the file also, the file will be there. The previous version. So that is one thing. And the storage naturally it will be how many number of copies are there, that many number of charges will also be there. It will be counted on the total storage consumed. So that is called as versioning. This is again a feature which is there in object class storage. So let us go ahead and understand about in the lab itself how you can open this S3 bucket and then add some objects, etc., etc. Ready, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anyone is having any questions or something like that? Please do ask me. No questions? Okay, that's fine. And also, my suggestion is one more thing which I want to tell you. Like, go to your this access I have given you to the sessions in S3. You have some files. You can, even though you can have any number, any type of files which is there. What you can do is, I want to ask you to download this file. Okay, go to this session 6 and download this file, RAR file, or maybe something like that. Website.rar. You can open these files. There are 3 files in this. Leave it like that. I'll tell you what next. So everyone, if you are ready, open to your what we call as the AWS login service. This is your console home. In services, if you go down to the storage, you see this one, this is the storage, right? In this, click S3. Click S3. Scalable storage in the cloud. Just a second, I have some bucket. I want to empty that.
So can you repeat from where I can get this S3 into the
Go to
services?
storage. Storage S3. So there is one bucket lying. I want to delete that. I'm trying to delete that, which is no longer needed. Yeah. So this is your service. Like you can see this particular one in services. Go to storage and say S3.
Yeah.
You are on this S3 menu. You can see something like this. Everyone got it? Very, very important exercise. Everyone needs to know about this one. So today and tomorrow, we will be learning about S3 a lot. Ready, everyone? So first and foremost thing is that we don't have any buckets. We don't have any buckets. You can click this navigation, the three lines, select that and see go to buckets. Click that buckets. There is no buckets for me. Same thing for you also. Okay. Anyone could not log in or should want me to wait? This is everyone mandate exercise needs to be done. So create a bucket. The first and foremost thing is that create a bucket. And this bucket, as I mentioned now, is unique. Okay. So once you are into S3 service, automatically please see this one. It has gone to global at the top. So all the regions are masked, totally masked. See this one? So means that S3 service is global. When you have gone to EC2, it is showing, it is displaying all various kind of services, right? Like various kind of regions. But here it's not showing. It's showing as a region, global, right? Create bucket. Just say create bucket. So what is the bucket name? You can give your own name. It should be unique across. If that bucket is existing somewhere else in AWS, completely AWS, we cannot create. So maybe I'll create like this, Anand, maybe some with my beginning Anand and my last name, something like that. You can create like that. So leave this region as it is. Leave this region as it is in North Virginia itself because the data stays stored over there. And you can see this one object ownership. This is called as ACLs. It's disabled. We will learn later on after how to enable and all these things. So by default, you can see this one block public access. Block all public access means that whatever the bucket data which is there is only for you, not for everyone. So block all public access means it is tick. So I'm not going to change anything because yes, this is private. You can understand that this data which is there in this particular one is completely private. Bucket versioning is disabled. I'm not changing anything. What I have done is that I have just given bucket name. Right. And you see this one tags also, I'm not giving anything, just leave it. Encryption, Please understand this bucket encryption also you can have, but I'm using disabling. If you want, you can have encryptions like that. And just say create a bucket. So the first and foremost thing is that we need to create a bucket. So this is unique name. If you are getting any error while creating the bucket, just change the name. So create a bucket. So it's creating a bucket. And you see that there is one bucket which is created. There is one bucket created. And you can see that this bucket is in US East. It is created in US East. That's okay. Buckets and objects are not public. Yes, because we untick that. And this is creation date and time. You are done, everyone?
Yes, sir. Created the bucket.
Okay, Sai, yes. Others also.
I created.
Shashank, yes. GYS.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Created.
Yes, okay. Naveen, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. Okay, so everyone has done the bucket creation. You see this one? Bucket is created. Just click the bucket, which is a hyperlink, right? You can just click that. Now you can see this one. If you want, you can close this one for temporarily. Later on, you can open. Right, you can see in full screen. Now this bucket, you can see this one. Amazon S3. The bucket name is Anand KTH in my case. So now you can upload objects. Objects are nothing but files. Any files. Try to load any one of the file. Any one of the file. Just say upload, add files. Just try to load any one of the file. I'm loading the CF notes. Okay. Just double click that. You can even do drag and drop also. Just say upload. Upload succeeded. Say close. It's like Google Drive only, simple Google Drive. So for your free tier, 5 GB of data is you can have it. 5 GB. Your free tier, you can hold the data in this particular one. So you see this one? Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, actually, here I'm not able to see my name where Amazon S3 after bucket is after Anand Keth is written. How can I get my name there?
You have your bucket created?
Yes, bucket is created.
So just click the bucket, you should see your name.
Okay.
Click that.
Yeah, it's there. Yes.
Click that. You should see. You can upload your files also.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. You can upload your files. So it's as simple as like that. If you want to add folder, yeah, you can add folder also. You can add any folder, C drive, D drive, F drive, whatever you want. But do not cross beyond 5 GB, right? 5 GB is the maximum limit. Like that, you can whatever you want. So if I want, I can open, I can drag this file, drag and drop. That also is okay. Drag and drop. You can get all the things. Just say, okay, upload. All the things will come. Right? Succeeded, finish all the files in one go. You can try all these things. You see this one folder is also there. Go to that folder, you can see all the files. Another subfolders, everything will be there. It's as simple as your Google Drive. Try to delete the folder. Try to delete. Delete. It's asking to write permanently delete. Delete the objects. Yeah. Close. So we learned about how to create the bucket, add objects to the bucket, and then how to remove. Maybe you can remove this particular one also. Delete. You can try even exploring. You see this one cf nodes.txt file is there. It won't show physically. It will show only URL. You can see this particular one. There is a URL. So even if you click this URL, it won't say it is publicly denied because the policies won't allow. The policies won't allow. We will learn about the policies one by one. Again, I tell you, the text file is there. So you see the URL. Once you go into this file, once you go into this bucket or your folder, you have this particular one, text file. If I want to view the contents, yes, I can see the object URL, this is the URL. If I share this URL to some of you and see that and ask, okay, please view this particular one, it won't be shown. It won't be shown because the information is considered to be access denied because the policy is not allowing. We will learn slowly how you can what we can change the policies, etc., or specify the policies or allow policies, etc. I can delete this particular one. Just try to. Yeah, here also just try to delete. Yeah, I deleted. Nothing is there. Only bucket is there. Now try to what we call as.
Sorry for interruption. From where you selected the delete option?
Select that and say delete.
Select
that file. And automatically delete will be highlighted. Otherwise, it won't highlight it.
Okay. I go to the uploaded section, close status. Okay, select that file and delete. Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay. My suggestion is that, see, I have just told you this website RAR file which is there. Okay. I want these three files to be copied. These three files. So what you can do, you can create, what is that? A folder, maybe I can say website. And extract first all the three files. Okay. So just drag and drop all the three files here.
Where are those three files?
I just told you.
I'm not able to find it in the session 6.
Is there session 6? You can go and see this particular one, session 6 website files which are there. Website files which are there, right?
Oh, okay. Inside the folder. Okay, I got it.
The last website.rar is there, rar. Okay, just download that. Download that, expand and copy that into these files, into this. So finally, you should see the three files in your bucket. Just let me know once done.
What did you edit this? Okay.
Sorry?
To copy this these index script of JS or anywhere, or we just randomly copy these files?
As it is, copy the three. Only those three files should be there in your bucket.
Okay.
I want to show you something. Earlier, we have done all those things, right? Copying, deleting, all those things, practice. So this file just download.
Done.
Download, expand and copy into a folder and drag and drop. Let me know once done.
Done,
I
sir.
give that link. Done? Okay. 3 files should be there. Only 3 files. If you see these files, what is these 3 files? It's very simple. See, it is a website actually. It's a website. You have a JavaScript, you have a CSS file, and you have an HTML file. Even if you try to see this particular one locally, it's a static website. This is a small project which we need to do now, right? On S3. So for that is the reason I asked you to copy. Done, everyone?
Done, sir.
Who else not yet? If you want me to wait, please let me know. Everyone is done. Okay. So now I'll tell you, if you click this index.html, what will happen? You see, click this index.html. You have a URL. You have a URL. You see this one? This object URL. I click this particular one. I select this particular one. Index.html in a separate icon. I mean, separate this thing. It clearly mentioned access denied. Can someone tell me why this is saying as access denied?
Oh, we restricted permission. We didn't give it to.
We didn't give any permissions and all.
Yeah.
The block public access has been denied, right?
Right.
So what
Yeah.
we will do? Yeah. What we will do? We will go to your folder and say go to properties and permissions. So first thing is your permissions. Go to permissions. So this block public access is on, right? Everyone is able to see this one. All public access is on. So let us disable this one. Let us make it into off. Again, I say go to permissions. You go to the bucket. You're already into, in my case, this bucket. Permissions. Click that. This is very, very important for us. So this is already block public access is on. So I make it as off. I untick that. And say save changes. And say confirm. So you are making it as public. You are allowing all the things. So objects can be public. You need to see this particular one. You see this one? Block all public access is off. Is off. Let me try refreshing now. Still it is saying that access denied. You want me to wait? See this one. Yeah, let me know once done. So finally, you should see in permissions, this block public access should be off. Try keep the URL handy. Try to, what we call as refresh multiple times, but still you will not get anything. You will not get anything. You will get access denied. The reason is that there is something policies which is blocking. Policies. Done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's also please to mention. We try to learn how to create bucket, add objects, okay, and then delete objects, etc. in that, right? And then we added the 3 files which I have given you, right? And then we also understood about how to enable public access. How to enable public access, and also the URL for every object. Right. But still it is not coming. Why it is not coming? It's clearly saying that access denied. That is because of policies. So this part we have learned, block all public access, bucket settings, we have enabled. There is a policy here. Suppose if you are familiar in JSON, you can write the policy here. You can write the policy here. So for now, I mean for today, I'm not going to go through this bucket policy handwritten. I will speak about something else, which is called as ACL. ACL. You see this one, access control list. So we will learn about how to enable these ACLs. This object ownership, it is strictly restricted actually. It is strictly restricted. ACLs are disabled also. While creating the bucket, we have disabled. Is this clear? So now what we will do, just click this object ownership. The first part we already did. So if you are familiar with JSON, you can write the policy, paste it here, and then save it. So we will do that. We will learn that later. But now what we are going to do, we are going to say edit and enable the ACLs. Enable the ACLs. So here I have enabled the ACL, and I say I acknowledge that the ACLs will be restored. Okay. Is it bucket ownership? Okay, that's okay. And say save changes. Leave it. So I have enabled and I acknowledged. Say save changes. Yeah. So now you see this one. Just scroll down. So ACLs are now enabled. Here you see this one. Bucket owner preferred. That is okay. It is enabled. So now you can say, let me go to the objects once again. The permissions ACLs are allowed. But that doesn't mean that by default all the bucket objects are privileged. No. So I will allow one by one. Whatever is the objects which I want to allow, I can select. Suppose if I want all these objects to be shared public, I can select all. Or a specific one, first I'll do specific one, index.html only, right? Select that. Under actions, scroll down, make public using ACL. Make public using ACL. So say that. So make public. Yeah, successfully edited. Now try refreshing. You see this, my index.html started working. But not the other files, CSS and of course the JS is not yet. I have not made it public. So that's why all the colors and all those things are not coming. Only index.html has started. Try doing the other things also. Close. Try doing the other things like script.js, style.css, and say under actions, scroll down, make public. Okay, and say make public. Okay, successfully edited public access. Close this one. Now try to refresh. Yeah, you should see AWS static website served from Amazon S3. If you are able to see like this, you have done this exercise. I mean, the preliminary exercise very well. You also learned about ACLs properly. How to assign public ACLs. If you want, you can select all the files and again remove of the ACLs. It will not be public. ACLs are nothing but access control lists. So anyone, any question, please do ask me. If you are doing, please do. Please let me know once you get all the screen and understood very well.
I have given ACL for all three objects, but I still see the basic HTML page.
Try once again. Just say enable. It should come. Try to refresh.
It twice, but yeah. Do we have any notation sort of thing where the ACL has been enabled for this particular object in the dashboard?
Yeah, you can see that also. You can select and see whether enabled or not. Specifically, fractions, make public. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's right.
So it is somewhere mentioned. Or you can see the properties.
Yeah, we have, once we open it, the object you have selected specified already has public read access enabled in the object and the settings. Okay, make public. Successfully edited.
Yeah, in this way you can see read and read. You can select and just say permissions. You will understand whether it is enabled or not. Yeah.
No luck in my case.
Now try once again. Select all the three, and make it public. Like this. Scroll down, make public, and you can say make public. In one go, it will be done. Even if you redo multiple times also, it will be the same. The effect will be the same. You should see like this colorful.
Yeah, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, done everyone. I just want to know the status.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Everyone, yes. Others also, please let me know. Sarvika,
Yeah, it's done.
Vinay done. Sharmila.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. Satvika done.
Yeah, I done, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay. So hope everyone has done this particular exercise. Okay. So now let me tell you, this is actually your static website. You are done website, but there is one thing which is called as index.html. So this is how you can create your websites also. So what you can do is that go to properties. So there are many other aspects which we need to know, like versioning, of course, tags, encryption, intelligent tiering, okay, server access login, all these things we need to know. Okay, scroll down to the bottom. You see this one? There is a feature called as static website hosting, and it is disabled. Static website hosting. This is in properties, not permissions. Permissions we just saw about disabling this public access and also the ACLs part. Okay, now we are going to static website hosting. Just edit and say enable, and just say enable. What is your index.html index document? Index.html. So this is your website actually. This is your website. So let us understand this one. Scroll down. Nothing else. Error.html. You can leave it. Just edit this one, saying that enable and index.html. Save changes. Save changes. And scroll down once again. You can see the web URL with .com. With You can see the website now. So if you want to float your resume, etc., like this, with this also you can do with .com. Anything which is documentation or website, anything which is there. No need to have powerful tools also. It is very simple. Simple websites can be static websites. No backend should be there. So you can see these JavaScripts can be executed. Okay, your CSS files can be executed. Your scripts can be, most of the things can be executed. But there should be no backend. Okay, so that is the only thing. That's why we call it static website. So with .com you should get it. And this you can try also. I will just try in the chat. I'll just share in the chat box. I don't know how many of you have access to the chat box. You can try. If anyone has done, just paste it in the chat box. I can also see. .com. With .com, I should get the URL.
I created and able to access, but cannot share because disabled for me chapter section is disabled.
Some of them can access. I don't know why others they are not accessed or something like that. Do I done everyone? .com?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm able to access yours.
Okay. You can paste your this thing also URL. So that I can see and show you.
Yeah, unable to do it in chat, but
Okay, Vamshi has already sent yeah. Yeah, I can see Vamshi's also. Yes, perfect. So earlier was with index.html, but now it is .com. You see this one, a static website. So we learned about static website hosting also.
can we change the URL to something else instead of?
See, this is your bucket name, right? We cannot change
Okay.
you can, if you change the bucket name, it will come.
Okay.
Otherwise, select something bit.ly or something like that, and you can change your URL.
I mean, just
Shorten your URL.
okay. Okay.
So can you show me the files once again in your screen?
Sorry?
Can you show me the files you have uploaded in your screen?
I didn't upload any files.
No, the index and the other JSON files what we have uploaded in the beginning. I just wanted to see if there was any wrong with file names in my case.
Same thing, right? We dragged and dropped. This is index.html, script.js,
yeah.
and style.css.
There might be some problem with the extractor. Yeah, I get
I
it.
think.
Yeah, I will try it later.
Okay. If you get index.html also, it's more than sufficient.
Yeah.
Right. Right now, I'll tell you about what is bucket versioning, everyone. Please remember this again, very important thing also. So here you see this particular one. Just listen now first. Listen now first. This particular one. So I'll just go to the objects. You see this file. I'm in the this particular file. You see this particular one. Okay. When I select this file, when I select this file, you see this one, index.html or any of the file which is there. Right? Click this particular file. You see the properties. You see the properties, and you have a column called as versions. So as of now, versioning is not enabled. Okay, versioning is not enabled. So that is the reason if you delete the file, you don't have any copy. Or if you don't have any modifications also, you don't have any copy. So what I do, go to properties and I'll enable this versioning. Edit. I'll say enable and say save changes. Right? Now I have enabled versioning to this bucket. So what will happen now? What will happen now? See, this index.html file is there. It is there in a local copy also. I'll try to edit with Notepad. Okay, edit with Notepad. You can also try to open with Notepad and try to change something. Edit with where is this? Open with Notepad. Do exactly the same thing. So where is like I tell you, just modify something which I wanted to show you. This one, served from Amazon S3 is there, right? You can go over there, served from Amazon S3. Just scroll down. Otherwise, you can say Control F. You see this one here, there is something which is there, heading. I say after this, I can say Anand K. I want to write my name. Okay. I'm just trying to edit this particular one. But here I have added something and say file, just say save. Just say save. Close this. This is actually a version 2 file. Right? See, this file is exactly the same. So what I do, I again upload into the same one. I again upload into the same directory. See this one, index.html. Index.html, drag and drop. Okay. So it will try to overwrite the file. It will try to overwrite the file. You can say upload. Yeah. Upload succeeded. Just say close. Finish. Try to see this particular one. Now again, the file needs to be ACL needs to be provided once again. I'll provide that. Make public using ACL because the file features has been changed. Right. Try to again refresh. You see, my name has appeared now. I have modified the file and I have uploaded. Everything is done now. But due to some reasons, I want the previous file. I have modified, right? This file, which is there. I want the previous version. Just go to versions. You see that there is a previous version also here. This is the latest current version and this is your previous version. Just do that. I'll explain if there is any difficulty for you. Because there is old version and this is the new version which is there. If you want old version file, this is the file. You can download that and you can overwrite once again. The file name has gone, but the data is still here, 9.8 KB. The previous version is there. The current version is also there. Everyone got it, what I'm saying? What is versioning means?
Yes, got it.
Okay. So versioning will prevent you, will help you basically to have multiple copies. Accidentally, if someone overwrites also, the previous copy will be there. Try to do on your own this thing. Very, very important. S3 is considered to be very, very important service. And you will get at least 3 to 4 questions in the exam.
And if you want to retrieve the previous version, just should we delete the...
So download that one and then overwrite again.
Oh, okay, download and overwrite it again. Okay. But it will create another version for that, or like it will be...
The same one, the previous version. I'll show you here the previous version, whether it is previous version or not. I'm just downloading this file. Okay, here, this is the one. Yeah, you can see this one. This is the old file, which is there. This is the one.
Yeah.
Right? If you want, you can download this one. This is the URL which is there. What you can save local copy index.html. Otherwise, you can download and then you can overwrite on that. But the current one will be same. The current one will be same. This is the one which is there. But you have a copy. If you want to test, you can see this one. This is the old copy. Version 1 copy.
So if we download and if we upload, that will be a third third version, right? Not the original version. Okay.
Right. I agree. So that is the advantage of versioning. That is the advantage of versioning. If anyone has done any overwriting, etc., but still you have a previous copy. Please do once, at least on your own. Okay. Please, whatever we have learned today, please go through all the things. All things are important, especially the PPT point, which is there. Okay, we have explained all the things. I mean, like the types of storages, object class storage, the parameters, etc. Even as simple as possible, the JSON also try to understand. And then we learned about S3, the bucket, adding objects, removing objects, and then making it public. Okay, and then we also learned about ACLs. Very, very important ACLs. Okay, tomorrow I'll show you how you can even go through with JSON also. Okay, and then we also learned about this website, making it public, and then we learned about versioning. Yeah, anyone, any questions, please let me know.
Just to recap, we have to enable the versioning and we just have to edit the index.html file and upload it. It will automatically overwrite and we can get to see the previous file in the version.
You have to enable the ACL for that.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Right. Once you overwrite the file, because the properties of the what we call it the attributes gets reset. So you need to again set the attribute.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
And the previous file can be you can see that once you overwrite, the previous file also will be there.
Yeah, I can still see that. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Yeah,
so the old file name is coming as a null. So can we make it as like means any naming?
It's the same one, right? Overwritten, so that's what it's saying. Yes, the same.
Okay.
If you want, you can download a copy. Otherwise, you can just delete the previous one, the previous the thing which will be there. Download this and delete that. Main thing is that you have a copy. That is the thing. You have a copy. The older one, you are still safe. So once all things are done, try to delete everything. So please practice all the things. Tomorrow, still more S3 we have. All the 3 I'm deleting. Select in a single go, you can delete. Just say close and also try to remove the bucket. Select the bucket and also delete the bucket. Emptying the bucket will remove the contents in the bucket. Delete the bucket will delete the bucket. So without emptying, you can't delete the bucket. Please remember this one. Without emptying, you can't delete the bucket. I mean, you have to remove all the files and folders. Then only you can delete the bucket. If the bucket contains any objects, it will not be deleted. So I'm just deleting. I'm trying to show you this bucket is not empty. I don't know why it's empty. It is empty. So try to delete. Or empty bucket configuration. I'll say permanently delete. All the files. I think versioning is enabled, right? So versioning files also are getting deleted. Yes, it is deleted. Yeah. Exit. Now I can delete. Yeah. So delete a bucket cannot be undone. So all deleted now. All deleted. So tomorrow I'll be speaking more elements. Please practice all the things which we have discussed. All the things which we have discussed. Revise everything. All points are very, very important. And again, I tell you, I'll show you this one website. You see this particular one. Yeah, you can see this, what we call as important points also. Please go through. Still not yet completed completely. EBS, all the important points are there. This will be very good for your exam preparation. S3 also, as I discussed, everything, please go through all the things. Bucket object, not completely as completed for this particular one, but some of the things which we have done already. Storage tiers is very, very important. I spoke today. Storage class, okay. Standard IA, RRS, and Glacier, all these things which are there. So please go through all these things. Policies also I just discussed. I'll be showing this. ACLs also I spoke. Right.
If we leave it without deleting the bucket, like, will I be charged? How will it be?
Sorry. The charges for meter is 5 GB up to the total size. You create 50 buckets, no problem. There is no charge for bucket. But the data size should not be greater than 5 GB. That is for free tab. For normal, if you want to pay, you can use as much as possible.
Yeah, and the hours also will count as long as I create the buckets, not for the
one full year, nothing.
Okay. And for the instances also, like if I create multiple instances and then
here there is nothing.
Okay. And so if I create multiple instances, right? So it will be counted like for that particular instance hours, or like in total hours. Like if I could create 10
total hours. 2 instances, 2 hours. 5 instances, 5 hours.
Oh, okay. It's multiples, like whatever I use individually. Okay.
Total should be 750 hours in a month.
Okay.
Like that, 12 months.
So if at all I create 750 instances, then within 1 hour, it's all will be used. Okay.
Finished. 1 hour it is finished. Okay, any questions before we sign off for today? Please practice everything. Don't neglect all these things. This week we will be focusing on storage. Once we complete tomorrow's storage, some certain other things, and then we will again revisit to EC2, either EC2 or maybe a short duration. We will go through this RDS and then we will go back to EC2, something like that. So yes, if there are no questions from any of you, yeah, we have gone through the storage fundamentals and essentials, and then we have gone through all the S3, basically the bucket creation, ACLs, and website creation, versioning, etc. Still, we will be continuing S3 with more parameters because we need to learn about lifecycle rules and etc. And also the bucket policies in JSON also we need to learn. We will learn all those things. and then we will move ahead with the next important service. Still more yesterday, in our today's presentation, I told you about the storage gateway and Glacier also. I'll be discussing those things also. Storage gateway and your what we call as Glacier. Yeah, and also this snowball. Yes, I'll speak about that. Right. That's all from me for today. Thank you, everyone, and bye.
Thanks, sir. Have a nice night.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.